break the law with such impunity. Indeed, they were. And I called the Clifton police commissioner, written to them, have a file, they're parking up all on the streets. Right now, they're parking vehicles again in the corner along the New Settlement Ground. They are blocking up the streets. Right? And they are afraid to move those vehicles from there in the corners. What makes these people free to break the law? And only when I've intervened several times, you can bring a record and try to move the vehicles. On Daniel Street in Philly City, the same thing has happened. Several dozens of 120Y and so on, and the 11 packed up there. And every day, up to last night, the guys come in and building a box in there, and they cannot move the cars freely. We have to ensure that the people of this country, the people of the law-abiding citizens of this country, that they are given a fair deal also. That those who are on the side of the law, they are treated fairly and they are protected. Commissioner and Mr. Santana, I thank you for bringing this meeting here to Gasparillo. I'm sorry to have to burden all this on you, but I think it's important that I speak on behalf of my constituents and speak with the gusto that I have spoken, because I believe my constituents do need the help that I ask for. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. I would now like to call on the Acting Commissioner of Police to address you. Could you welcome Acting Commissioner of Police, Mr. Stephen Williams, to the podium.
Thank you very much, Chairman of this evening's proceedings, Superintendent Archie, Dr. the Honorable Suraj Ramrachan, MP for Tabakit and Minister of Works, Deputy Commissioners Harold Phillip and Glenn Hackett, Assistant Commissioner Dinoon, Principal of the Gasparillo Secondary School, Mr. Mirage, Counselor for Gasparillo, Mr. Safraz Ali, Head of the Southern Division, Senior Superintendent Santana, Head of the Ghana Emergency Branch, Senior Superintendent Huggins, Superintendent James, all other First Division officers, Second Division officers, and to you, the members of Gasparillo and the surrounding communities. This evening marks another of our visit to the communities across Trinidad and Tobago. As your MP indicated, last week we were in Tabakit, but we've been around the country, both Trinidad and Tobago, having these community meetings, all geared towards one main goal: providing us with an opportunity where we can share our plans for policing Trinidad and Tobago with you, and providing you with an opportunity for sharing your views, your concerns, and also making recommendations as to how we can better police Trinidad and Tobago. We believe that it is with such dialogue that we can progress towards ensuring that we achieve our vision. We've set ourselves a new vision for the police service, a vision to make every place in Trinidad and Tobago safe. That vision is one which cannot be achieved without you, the members of society, taking an active part with the police service for safety and security. The police service is an organization with officers employed by you, the citizens, to provide a particular kind of service that you expect and also require as citizens of this land. It is painful for me to hear the number of woes, as mentioned by your MP, of things that are happening and things that are not happening in Gasparillo and other communities for which active policing can make a difference. How can we as a society ensure that Trinidad and Tobago becomes a better place? It is not about the police service standing on its own. It's about a society of persons working together with common goals and objectives to ensure that Trinidad and Tobago become a better place. As an organization, we have done extensive planning around shaping our directions into the future. We've met with numerous stakeholders, and out of those engagements, we have developed ourselves a strategic plan for 3 years, 2014 to 2016. In keeping with our change approach to policing in Trinidad and Tobago, we've made that strategic plan available for the entire nation. And the easiest way to so do is that we have placed it out there on our website, www.ttps.gov.tt, where every single citizen can simply go in his home and Google, pick up the police service website and click on the police service strategic plan and see all that we have planned out for 3 years. Beyond that, we have broken down our plan, strategic plan, into 1-year operating plans. The first such operating plan is the 2014 operating plan, and we've also placed that operating plan on our website for which the citizens can access and see what we have planned out to do in 2014. 2015, we will do the same thing, put out an operating plan, and 2016 we will do the same thing, put out an operating plan. But plans are just that, plans. What is critical is the execution of the plans. At this point in time, one of the activity in executing our plans is really coming by way of our outreach to meet and engage in a direct way with the citizens. How can we garner clear feedback from the public if we don't come and ask you in a direct way what it is that you consider to be affecting you in your community from a policing perspective? There are many things which will be affecting you in your community which are not under the control of the police service, and that is where wider consideration takes place with your corporation and your councillor will make certain representation, and there are things which the government will address, and your MP will take leadership on those matters. When I speak about engaging with you on matters, are matters which fall within the realm for the police service to consider. Just listening to your MP, it is obvious to me that there are many things for the police to do to improve service in Gasparillo and the surrounding communities. And the reason for having police officers at a forum like this is so that the very said officers can hear the public's cry for help and effectively address the public's concerns. Without hearing the public, sometimes people do not readily appreciate the challenges that people are confronted with out in society on a daily basis. As an organization, we've clearly recognized that policing of the past must change, and we need to operate in a different way. Traditional policing was built around station operations. Police are located in a police station. They sit around and wait for reports to be made, and when reports are made, they respond to those reports either in a timely manner or they do not respond to the reports at all. That's traditional reactionary policing approach. We believe that when someone makes a report, they have already been affected by a crime or some form of lawlessness. And it is better for us to focus on preventing crimes from occurring than to wait on people coming to the station to lodge complaints. And it's in keeping with that approach, philosophy, we have identified a change in our policing model. As an organization, we are now undertaking what we refer to as a service-oriented policing model, which is built on proactivity, being out there even when a report is not yet made. Our presence out in communities should act as a major deterrent to crime, so prevention becomes a key component in our new approach. Visible presence is critical to this new model. And visible presence means that we are talking about uniform officers, either on foot in your district or mobile in your district. But that visible presence must be active and engaging. And engaging means that if you are in a mobile, that means a police vehicle, mobile, moving around the district, it's not about just driving around, but it's about driving around and engaging with the people. So you drive, you stop, you talk, you engage with the people, find out what are their concerns in the community, and if you can in fact address them while you're out there, you deliver that service to the citizens. That is where we are seeking to take the police service. We are getting some, if you could call, traction. It's happening in communities, and we need to cause that to happen in all the communities that we police. I'm hearing from the MP some serious challenges in relation to the very said model that I described, because as he described it, police driving up, parking up, and not even paying attention to what is happening with all the traffic rules that the citizens are confronted with. and not addressing some basic common problems. And if so, we have to revisit what is happening in Gasparillo in relation to the policing of the community. But I would better know the details from you, the citizens, the things that are going right, the things that are going wrong, the things that you believe can be done to improve the policing of Gasparillo and the surrounding communities. And then from the leadership, we will seek to find the ways to effectively implement key actions to effect the changes. Policing is not a simple thing, and if it was a simple thing, you just gather a whole group of persons and say, go and police any area and everything gets right. Policing is a tough job, it's a challenging profession, and it requires professionals. The police service over time has had fluctuations in our performance because some police officers do a fantastic job, demonstrate true professionalism on a daily basis, and on the other side of that, you have police officers who do an extremely unprofessional job. They are poor at their interaction with the citizens, they show utter disrespect for the citizens, and they deliver poor service. As an organization, it's critical for us to lift the standard and have a consistency with whatever level that we attain, so that if you are in Gasparillo or you're in San Fernando and you have to interact with a police officer, the service that is delivered to you should be consistent. How do we get there? We will not get there overnight, but we will get there with the clear, determined, and decisive approach to improve policing in this country. And that's why we start with a plan, and then we seek to execute all the key actions in that plan. By way of improving service, government has made available to us 332 vehicles in 2013, and we have distributed those vehicles to all the police stations. When I hear the minister said about several vehicles driving up, I recognize, okay, there are vehicles in Gasparillo, so therefore we have police vehicles. That's the starting point. We have police vehicles in Gasparillo. The next thing, though, is to deliver the service that we want to deliver in Gasparillo and surrounding communities. It's critical that the officers listen to what the public has to say in relation to service, and they have to be thick-skinned. Policing is not for the faint-hearted. As a professional, you need to be able to stand up to criticism and not get emotional with it, and recognize that if there are shortcomings, we need to improve. And as we improve and we improve, the satisfaction level across the land will also improve. And therefore, the issues around public trust and confidence will in fact increase, and we will get to the point where the relationship between the police and the community would have improved. I want you, the citizens who are here at this meeting, to take full advantage of this opportunity. Feel free and share with us your thoughts, positive or negative, in relation to policing. But also feel free to make recommendations that you feel can help improve policing in Gasparillo and policing in Trinidad and Tobago. The police service is committed to deliver the kind of service that you, the citizens, deserve. We are making the effort from our recruitment stage right up to the issues around our performance at station level. At recruitment, we rely on you, the citizens, to help us when we are seeking information on would-be police officers. You see, sometimes I hear the comment, and recently we were in St. Madeleine, when someone made a comment that sometimes when I see who are police officers, I say, wow. And it was a lady making a comment. And I had to share with her, it's not just only saying wow, but helping us when we come to the community. And you know, it's not good to use names, right? So you know, I'll use letters. You know, Mr. X and Mr. Y and Mr. Z are not the kind of citizens that you would want in the police service. If you don't share that with us, you will find the very said Mr. X, Mr. Y, Mr. Z in the police service serving you. So what will not help us? What will help us is that when we come to the community and ask you, do you know Mr. X? What do you know about Mr. X? And you can share some information about Mr. X. That will help us to make a determination that Mr. X is not the right person to be in the service. And do not sit back on the premise, if I share information, the person will know. That's a long-standing statement, people, and I call it a cop-out. A cop-out because we, the citizens, have to ensure that we get the police service that we want. Don't blame the Commissioner of Police for the police service that you have today. When a policeman enters the police service as a thief, and he continues his craft and shape his craft to be a professional at stealing, it's not about the Commissioner of Police. He came out of the society, being endorsed by the society, and is now in the police service. It is now a difficult challenge. Everybody say, why can't you fire him? Now to fire him, you first have to catch him stealing, as against any rumors that he's stealing, and then you have to ensure that either by way of a disciplinary process or the courts, he's found guilty. So it's not as easy as just say fire him. And I hear the comments so many times, people say the commissioner not firing people. Firing doesn't take place that way. Right? So we depend on you, the citizens, to help us, to help you. Helping us is really helping you. The police are charged with the responsibility of providing service to the society, and that service to the society means a service to you. And if you help us to improve, we will be able to improve the delivery of service to you. So as citizens, I beseech you to work hand in hand with the police in ensuring that we can in fact deliver an improved level of service to you. Take advantage of this time, take advantage of this opportunity. It will not be the first, it will not be the last. We will continue to reach out to communities across the land so that we can get feedback, recommendations, suggestions, and the express concerns of the citizens. I thank you.
Mr. Stephen Williams. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it, an open invitation from the Acting Commissioner of Police to air your concerns and your suggestions. However, before we do so, I will kindly ask you all, of you as possible, and when you do so, you make your contribution, please do so respectfully. And as you come to the mic, you give your name and the area you're from. Again, if it is that you're coming to the microphone and you want to give information on any illegal activity, I will advise you against that, since there are police officers at the table there and you want to speak to a police officer privately. Please do not do so at the microphone. Ladies and gentlemen, the floor is now open. Sure, don't forget the promise we have, 2, not 5.
Everyone, Member of Parliament, Dr. Ambachan, Acting Commissioner, Mr. Williams, and Head of the Southern Division, Mr. Santana. My name is Sugrum Ragunanan, and I am from Esmal, the back of Whiteland. I'm here, I'm 72 years old. I'm here to talk about loud music. There is noise happening in both homes, cars and bars. I'm happy that the minister bring up something about bar and loud music and car wash. I experienced that problem. Now, what happened is, if I am a mechanic, I can't fix cars with my fingernail. So too, in one of my letters to the Attorney General, I think I mentioned I have a noise problem, and both the police and the EMA seem to be can't handle the problem. What happened is, lower down a mark, you can't, in my letter to the Attorney General, a mark, you can't blame the police, neither the police or the EMA. The blame have to go to the government of the day. Because I had a person in court, after 5 years, and the magistrate said, I want to make a conviction in this matter, but I can't make it. Section 64 have been, 1102 have been revoked. Right? So I write the Attorney General asking what section a magistrate could charge. Failed to get a reply. I write the then Police Commissioner, Mr. Gibbs, I failed to get. But my letter is San Fernando Police Station. I take that letter and I copy it and I post it to the Prime Minister. That's in June 2011. This is 2014. I rang the Prime Minister's office several times. I could give the names of who answered me, but I wouldn't give it here. I said, what happened to my letter? They say, the Prime Minister have read your letter, take note of the contents, and put it on the desk of Mr. Rednell Cooper. Everybody knows Mr. Cooper. He's the Permanent Secretary of the Prime Minister. Nothing doing. So what I'm suggesting is, and this is not to the police officer, the EMA, this is for the government of the day. You have to implement the law concerning noise. When a police officer you complain to a police officer and they come and warn the people, the second time they must lock them up and seize their musical equipment. Right? But they can't do that because the government, the blame have to go on the government of the day. They have to implement the law so the police would have the necessary powers. You can't do it. So sometimes if you're in high society, sometimes I just wonder if there's a law for ordinary folk like me and a next law for the VIP. Because if Mr. So-and-so live in there, and the police say the Attorney General live next door there, or the ministers, you can't make noise, but what about me? You kill me with noise when the police turn their back. So this is my say, I'm pleading with the government to do something about it. Implement the law, give the police a tool, so they'll be more effective. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Floor is
all protocol observed, please. My name is Dalip, and I live in...
what is the name, sir?
Dalip, D-A-L-I-P. And I live in Bonaventure Road, Gasparillo. And I'd like to congratulate Mr. Williams and the police service on doing an excellent job. I know it's a difficult job to keep people within the framework of law and order in a civilized society. But we have an organization in Gasparillo, and Mr. Santana knows about it a little bit, and the JP here. We have an organization called the Addiction Foundation of Trinidad and Tobago. And what we do is present solutions for people with drug problems. We are not complaining about who is playing too much music and who is selling the drugs. We don't know that, but we have a group, one group right here, that's having their meeting next door that is 54 years old, and we deal with alcoholism. And our meeting is every Tuesday right here. And we know that alcohol from all the bars, there are 23 bars from the junction at the highway to up by Teddy up there. It could be more. And about 50 churches. So it's a conflict, we wonder. But we would like, I have been to meetings with, well, my president is here, at the National Council with Mr. Esther Best, I think that's her name, where they have a drug initiative, and if they have people who they find with paraphernalia or apparatus or some little thing like that, they actually try to get them into the rehabs. We want solutions. We know there are problems. There will always be problems. We are presenting solutions. And we are saying there's another group in the Hindu school on a Friday. There's a group in Voss government. on Mondays. There's a group in Riversdale, Mr. MP, on a Monday. And all the groups are 7 to 9, and these are Alcoholic Anonymous. And because of the Anonymous, that's why I gave only my first name. Right? So we don't deal with who they are and what they are. We deal with the problem, and we would like to work with the police in solving some of these alcohol and drug problems. I have a notice here that we would like to be posted. I have been to the police station, and I think that Gasparillo is as good as it will be. But we would like to get a notice board where we can say Gasparillo Police Station telephone number, and then some of the community services that are offered like ours. So that if somebody's wife has a problem with a husband that is abusive, they can come to our meetings free of charge. All that I have said here is free of charge. All we have to do is get the individual there, and I believe that our program is competent enough to deal with them. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Daleb.
Good evening. My name is Sean Gibson. I was born here in Gasparillo, went to Voss Government School. I migrated to the United States where I lived for some 32 years with the goal at the tender age of 14 to return and serve my beloved Gasparillo and Trinidad. And in 2012 I returned. Now, the sentiments that I've heard expressed from the Commissioner as well as the MP, I share those. At one time in my life, I was considered law enforcement, being an ex-US soldier. The most horrible experience I've ever had with law enforcement on either side was at the Gasparillo police station with a single police officer. I wouldn't call his name, I would stick with the letters. So Officer P is the worst officer I've ever met in my life. Let's move on. I have had another experience recently at the Gasparillo police station. And while sitting there engaging the officers, I observed a drastic difference. And I inquired, has some effort been made to change what has been going on in this station? Because I don't recognize it. It seems as though somebody decided this was a dysfunctional station and they embarked on taking some change initiative. And the corporal acknowledged, yes, it was a problem station and there was change initiative. So I would like to congratulate the powers that be on that. I think that is the way forward. Community policing, I congratulate you so much for employing that strategy. It works. I'd also like to add on the community policing, the police department cannot do it in isolation. You have to collaborate with stakeholders to propagate change. And I'll give some short examples. The traffic woes in Gasparillo that the MP talk about with the bars. It's not just one bar, that entire stretch. It's bar after bar, and each bar is in violation. So whatever you do to one bar, you have to do to all of them. They all do the same thing. They restrict my movement. Now, that's primarily at nighttime, the greatest concentration of that. In the daytime, there's a hardware across the street from that bar. The proprietor of that hardware uses his parking lot to store goods for sale, and the street to park his dump truck, prohibiting my movement as a motorist. That is equally problematic to the patrons going to the bar, restricting the flow of traffic. There's a street that we call Campshan Hill. We used to walk up there. That is paved nicely, one of the best roads in Gasparillo, but it's literally paved and used as a garage for dump trucks. There is no time that the motoring public have free access on that road. And there's no bar, there's one bar there. The bar patrons does not cause that. So we have to look at it holistically. We cannot single out one business person in Gasparillo and try to solve the problem. We have to apply the law equally across the board for all in order for this to work. In my home, the noise, I can echo that as well. I called 999 one night about a guy across the road. He's a contractor, well known. I live at 189. And 999 sent an officer out. And I'm looking through the fancy blocks to hear that guy tell his friends who were playing the loud music in the open trunk and drinking and having a party. It had to be that guy over there that called the police. So I'm expecting somebody to attack me now. But don't worry, and he called his name, as long as the police from San Fernando to Gasparillo, Marbella, know it's me, they ain't doing nothing. So this contractor is of the opinion that he owns the police in the region. He also decided that he wants garbage collection for his business. So he got two 55-gallon drums, placed them strategically. His business is across the road, it's in front of my house. When the dogs topple them over and pampers with feces, line my driveway and my roadway, and I asked him nicely, why don't you keep it over by you? Now, on mornings, you do get up and clean up. But for somehow, Carnival weekend, it stayed there all weekend. I didn't know he was out of the country. I said, so I took the barrel and I placed it over by you. And he dragged it back across the street. I next went to the health department after visiting the police. The health department said, well, that's illegal. Only the government could put receptacles. They're still there today. And the dogs carry the trash all over. So, as a returning resident, there's no place I can go to get help. Because the police send you to the health department. The health department send you down Vista Bella by the Ministry of Health. And the condition still exists. So we have the rats running, we have the dogs tearing up the trash. And I have to adhere to it. On Saturdays, he runs his pressure wash, he washes all his trucks. His friends come, they wash their cars. If I get a call on my cell phone, I can't even hear it in my own house. I'm in the process of installing air conditioning so I can keep the place locked, so that I can be quiet, because I'm a consultant. And I have to do my clients' work so that I can earn a living. But this is the length that I have to go through to keep the peace, because there's no help from the authorities. We would like issue pay to those things. I have one suggestion that I think would help immensely. The police cars run with blue lights on all night. And they say, well, they only turn it off when they're in tactical mode. It appears that Trinidadians only comply with the law when law enforcement is around, when Big Brother is looking over their shoulder. When you ride with your lights on, whatever crime they're doing, they would stop. Because they know you come in, and they will continue when you leave. In the United States, those lights only come on when we want to pull someone over. Or we want them to get out of the way so we can get to a crime. Here it says, hey, I'm coming guys, run and hide. Quit what you're doing until we pass. That is not very effective policing. So my humble advice would be to start running with your lights off. And when you see a crime, you can catch the perp right away. Now, there might be other things. If there's a channel where I can share some things, I would like that very much. But I don't think this is the appropriate forum for me to give my 5 cents on policing. So I appreciate the town meeting. I hope there will be more like this, where citizens can come out. I agree that it wasn't well advertised. I only saw it today when I went to the supermarket. There's a poster there, but I appreciate it, and I am very, very thankful that I'm seeing some professionalism at the Gasparillo police station, and I hope it continues. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gibson, and I'm sure before you leave here this evening that you'll make contact with either the senior superintendent or the superintendent in charge of the division. We'll take
a pleasant good night to the Commissioner of Police, and the Minister of Works, and all of the head table and everybody in the audience. So I'm here tonight. My son is missing since the 5th of August. The 5th of August. I made a report concerning my son. I did everything. I actually did the investigation. I do everything for the police. And I was not satisfied. So I had to call Port of Spain to get some satisfaction. And after I called Port of Spain, then the police down on the side started to work. I'm not saying that they did not help me, but my son is still missing today. Tomorrow will be 3 months since my son missing. And all I'm asking the Commissioner of Police to pay special attention to this. I'm asking the audience here tonight, every policeman here tonight, every person in Gasparillo, to help me to find my son. It's 3 months I see my son. 3 months. There are some things that I prefer not to say. But if I could use an example, Mr. Commissioner, would you allow me to use an example? I miss him. You have my backyard. You stated that I turn off my phone. That is all I'll leave you with.
Can I get your name, please, sir?
My name is Eric Knights. I live at number 6, 3rd Street, St. Fabian Road, Springland, Gasparillo. So I'm asking again and I'm pleading that they pay special attention to my son that is missing 3 months. I can't help it. I cannot help it. I cannot help it because I believe I did everything to help the police. They say, see something, say something. I see things, I say it, and I'm looking forward tomorrow morning to see my son back home. They find something, some clue, and let me know what's taking place with my son. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Knights. We'll now get a response from the head table.
What I will describe as some change in the laws governing loud music. But even with all the change in the laws, there are some things which I am sure the police can do to assist you. In our dialogue, I know you shared with me that the police officers do in fact respond at times when you contact them, and as soon as they leave, the music goes back up. But I think there is more than that. So I would have to speak to the officers at Gasparillo Police Station. So I'm not asking the senior soup. Your issue is too long outstanding to be living with so many years of noise in your head. And I'm sure there is a little more that can be done to try to create what I call a pacifying situation between you and your neighbor. The neighbor must be able to be reached to provide some kind of response to your need for some level of peace in your home. So I'll speak to the officer in charge of Gasparillo and make some suggestions to him to see if those suggestions can help you in any way. You've made the additional suggestion for legislative changes. I'm not speaking to that, but I'm speaking about right now. If the police can do some things which can assist you, we'll try our best to see how we can assist you with that long-standing problem with the noise affecting you at Esmeralda. Mr. Dalip, we note your offer to work with the police by way of finding solutions to problems. And you highlighted that your organization is 54 years old, and I'm sure that the officer in charge of Gasparillo will take up the opportunity to engage with you and the organization to see how best police can partner with you to improve the environment of Gasparillo. I am sure the issue around placing a publication on a notice board, even if at the station, that should be easily available to you to be able to post an item on the notice board advertising the available service of the Addiction Foundation of Trinidad and Tobago. So it's a matter of engaging with the officer in charge of Gasparillo, and I'm sure that can happen. I think Mr. Gibson has reminded me of what I said at the opening, the fluctuation in service. So he has had his worst experience in Gasparillo Police Station, but he has seen some change by way of the service being delivered at this point in time, and that is a positive note. But clearly the situation with your neighbor, and that neighbor boasting about he in control from south to Gasparillo of the police, it's a telling story if the police cannot truly intervene to provide you with some kind of assistance and support. I would not want to be in your shoe where dogs are ripping Pampers and whatever and scattering it in front of my compound, and it is not my rubbish. It's rubbish from everybody else other than mine, and so that's something which I again believe some effort. You see, as I speak, I am speaking not into the traditional mold of policing, where it was heavily law enforcement based. Police service needs to take a change approach to be more problem solvers. And where you have community problems, the police have to intervene and seek to assist in working out community problems so that you can foster better relationship between citizens. It is a statement which I have made before, and it's a statement which I have gotten some flack for. A famous priest says that that's not the role of the police, but I beg to differ. The police service today must take a different role. It is not strictly about enforcing laws. Enforcing laws is a part of the business. The business today requires that the police look at ways and means of providing some level of dispute resolution in situations where you have challenges between members of the community. Because sometimes these things lead to that ultimate crime of murder, and therefore the police service must act to prevent that ultimate crime from occurring by finding ways and means of working with two neighbors to find a workable solution around some of the simple issues, which may be a big issue for one neighbor as against another, but which may be simple by way of capacity to solve it. So it's really about interventions, police responding and meeting and treating and discussing and seeing how best some of these issues can be worked out. So it is one which the SDU in charge of Gasparillo would have noted, and they need to take some proactive action by looking to find a way to bring some level of resolve to your situation, to the situation that Mr. Ragunanan has described, and to the situation that most of the community members will describe. I don't know the details about Mr. Knight's son who is missing, but I surely will follow up I'll follow up, because I would assume, based on our approach to investigations of missing persons, two main groups are engaged instantly when there is a missing person. That is the anti-kidnapping squad and the homicide investigators, to support the effort of the station. Those groups are engaged. So I'll find out a little more. Maybe around the table I may be able to get some more information. But surely we will provide whatever assistance we can. I hear the hint or the clue that you put out out there in relation to what may have happened, but I'm unaware of what will happen. But I'll have some further dialogue and see how best we can treat with the matter which you have advanced to us. I could basically feel some level of pain. I can't feel the same pain because I'm not in the same situations like you, but I can feel some level of pain as a father to know that my son is missing for months without no clear word as to the state of my son. And it's really about finding a way to locate him with the assistance of the police and the community, how best we can deal with it. So I'll find out a little more. But I'm sure I'll be able to get some feedback from the table, from Mr. Dinoon, Mr. Santana. But we will see how best we can assist. Okay, sir?
Share your concerns. I am well aware of this incident, and we have been engaged in this investigations. Investigators from the Southern Division, the Homicide Region 3, and the Anti-Kidnapping Unit. As you will know, because I have mandated the Inspector Crime, Inspector Gajada, to keep you abreast of all that has been happening related to this investigation. And I know for a fact that he has been keeping you abreast of all that we have been doing with respect to this investigation. And you know that a suspect was held, he was interrogated, no evidence was unearthed with respect to prosecution. But however, investigation into your son's disappearance is continuing furiously, and I want to assure you, sir, that every effort will be made to find the son and to take whatever action is necessary with respect to this investigation. And I want to invite you, if you should have any information at all, feel free to see me in my office or call me, and I will have all the avenues looked at with respect to your son's disappearance. Okay, sir? Thank you very much.
Anyone who wants to approach the microphone can do so now. The microphone, please.
Hello, good. Okay, I have a very quick question regarding animal. Oh, my name is Michelle. I am from Happy Hill. Okay, my question pertains to animal cruelty. Now, say you call up the police station and you say, I see this stray dog. No, I see someone flogging an animal ruthlessly. You hear something like, okay, no problem, ma'am, we'll deal with it. No one comes, no one calls you back. Someone, animal, a dog, cat, whatever, gets poisoned. You discuss it with some people and you have a suspect, and you propose it, you have conversations with an officer. Somehow there's a sort of passive approach. What I would like to know is, does animal cruelty at all fall under your purview? Is it right to call up an officer to deal with something like that? If it is that you have evidence to prove that someone probably put gramoxone or some sort of poisonous chemical for an animal to eat, is there anything at all that can be done? Is there any sort of passion or enthusiasm that could be exerted from an officer when someone comes with something like this, rather than that sort of passive approach of as if that matter is frivolous? You know what I mean? I don't even think if it is that you believe it's frivolous, it should be shown to my face or to anybody's face who lost an animal that your matter is small. So that's it. Thanks.
Thank you, Michelle. We'll take 3 persons and then we'll have a response from the head table.
Head table, everybody. My name is Shafi Ramjan, better known as Khan. I live at 180 Punda Road, Whiteland Junction. The Honorable Minister is supposed to know me, I believe. You did some work, you paved the temple across there. I run the restaurant opposite. Now I hear a lot of people, I could speak for myself anyhow. Yeah.
Tilt the mic a little to you. There you go.
Yeah. A lot of people condemning the police and saying all sorts of things. But where I live in Whiteland Junction, what I am seeing now, I have never seen it. I have been living there for 31 years now. Not too far from me, I have Inspector guy, Subhash Ramkiel, I think the ministers, he instrumental in having a police youth club, doing a fantastic job. Also, well, the police start disturbing me now. Because the amount of time in the night, people flashing light, my wife can't. Something happened in the junction. I said, what? Look, the police there. They stop me. I said, girl, the police doing the work. Nothing to worry about. You're not feeling secure. She said, well, I know, I seen the police. He said, but so often. Well, praise to the Gasparillo police station. And the head of Santana, Mr. Dinoon, Mr. Santana, and Mr. James, and whosoever, I am totally pleased. Totally pleased as a businessman in the area, the presence of the police and the support. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, sir.
So I'll protocols to the head table. My name is John Mead. A lot of people here would know me. I've been an ex-police officer, and really and truly I'm not a defender of the police. People who work with me would know that. But, Mr. Commissioner, I must say, I express some of the sentiments of the guy who had called, who was the, I can't remember his name, but he was an ex-officer, as he said, in terms of some of the bars in Gasparillo and the traffic along that cartel road that you experience. Some night later was I outside coming from small business to do, and you have a lot of problems getting in and out. I'd also say must commend the Gasparillo police under Mr. Santana, Mr. Dinoon. In my experience of going to the station years to now, a lot of good changes. Not because probably I'm an ex-policeman, I will talk and say that, but I'll be critical and give criticism where it is at. But I must say, with limited strength I'm with the police. Most times at the night I up, and I always see the police up and down. And I must say that Mr. Santana is, what you call, there's a thing you say, a whole name in the community. And that's just what I need to say. I must commend and say, good job to the Gasparillo police. Right?
Thank you, Mr. Mead.
Good night, everyone. My name is Cathy Gay. Everybody around here should know me, the newspaper lady. I've been hearing a lot of things people have been saying about the police, but I can boastfully say I reaches to work at 4 a.m. every morning, and within an hour, I see at least 10 to 12 police vehicles passing along the highway, and I can say thanks very much. And to Mr. Ramachan, you did a magnificent job by putting street light at the car park where people park their vehicle every morning to go into Port of Spain to work. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think I have said enough. To each and every police officer present here today, we applaud you all for the magnificent job you have been doing. And to Mr. Williams, Mr. Santana, and Mr. Huggins are people of Gasparillo, and they look forward to seeing after everybody. Mr. Rabachan again, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Michelle, with respect to your complaint related to the cruelty to animals, it is an offense to kill an animal, or willfully kill an animal. And if you have made a complaint with respect to that, and you did not get the desired response, I will ask you to see me in my office anytime during the hours of 8 to 5, half 5 in the evening, and I will deal with your complaint. Or you can see me tonight. I'll take the information right here, and I will have your complaint looked into. Okay? Mr. Ramjohn, I want to thank you for your comments, and it is always pleasing to hear that our hard-working police officers are recognized and appreciated. So I want to thank you again for those comments about the performance of the police at Gasparillo. Mr. Meade, I also want to thank you for your comments, and I want to assure you that also, Mr. Gibson, I didn't really deal with any of your concerns, but I want to assure you all that action will be taken with respect to those bars and those wayside garages that you all have been complaining about. Thank you, Abigail. Abigail, thanks for your comments also. As I said, we always appreciate comments. When the police do wrong, we listen and we try to take corrective action. But we are also happy when they do good and they are recognized. So thanks very much for all your comments, and as I said, your concerns will be looked into. So thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't be shy now.
Good night, everyone. The Right Honorable Dr. Surajratan Rambachan, MP for Tabakit. Yeah, okay. Yeah. The Acting Commissioner of Police, Mr. Williams, members of the head table, all protocols observed. My name is Budram Hari. I live at 166 Charles Street, Gasparillo. I am quite disappointed in the crowd here right tonight. Just as I would like to endorse what my MP said, seeing that we have such a vast community of Whiteland, Gasparillo, Mayo, Bonaventure, Macaulay, and all the rest of it. And at one point in time, it seemed that we have more police officers than people here. I am quite disappointed with the crowd. I don't know how the circulation of the invitation went, but I think that has to be addressed in the future. I have a couple of burning concerns And the first one is that I am the PRO of the Police Community Council of Gasparillo, which I must say is dormant right now. For years, we have been trying to get this group, or in fact this council going. It is more than 3 years now, and every time we take 2 steps forward, we go 3 steps backward, in the sense that every time we try to have a meeting with the police at the Gasparillo police station, we always have some excuses, in the sense that we have a change of inspectors. As a matter of fact, recently I was speaking to the sergeant in charge, and he said, you know, we have about 6 inspectors that have passed through Gasparillo police station for the year, and no one seems to hand over the baton. When we have a meeting and we have all the notes and all the minutes and so on, no one seems to hand it over to the new personnel that comes into Gasparillo. I think the last time I was here at a meeting, I stand to be corrected. Senior Superintendent Santana mandated the Gasparillo police station, right, to have officers, even if they have to work extra duty, to ensure that we have this group going. And I look forward to some positive actions in the future. Right now, the last meeting we had with this group is maybe about 10 or 11 months ago. Since then, we have had no meetings at all. So I am looking forward to some positive action. And at these meetings, we invite members of the community to come to our meetings and to address their concerns, just how we are addressing our concerns here, right? Be it traffic, be it crime, be it whatever, right? And we are lacking in that respect, right, with the meetings. My second thing is that I would like the police to lead by example. When I said lead by example, I mean that just imagine on a Sunday morning, just at the side of the Trinity Presbyterian Church where a doubles vendor sells his doubles on a Sunday morning, there is clearly 2 no parking signs there. And there's a line of vehicles, right, about 10 or 12 vehicles parked there from 6 o'clock in the morning up to 10 o'clock in the morning. And I have seen, right, with my own eyes, we have this line of traffic there, and a police car comes there, right, and he parks in between there once he gets a space by his doubles, and he just turns a blind eye and they drive away. I have seen that already. I want the police to lead by example. What example are the police setting for the civil society? And on a lighter note, I would like to congratulate Mr. Rambachan on his foresight and his vision for easing the traffic problems out of Charles Street, especially on mornings, by the implementation of the traffic wardens. It has been beefed up from, I think, 4 to about 8 or 10 now, and I must say they are doing a fantastic job. Up to this morning, I left home at Charles Street at about 10 past 8, and there was traffic backed up for about half a mile into Charles Street. And I looked at my watch and I saw it was 8:15, right thereabouts. And I said, I want to know what time I can get to the medical center, right at Point of Pierre. And when it was about 22 minutes past 8, I was close to Charles Street Junction, even though we had half mile of traffic. And I must say that these traffic wardens have been doing a fantastic job, and I would like to congratulate the minister once again for having the foresight and the vision to ease the traffic rules. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Harry. We have anyone else?
Specifically about the Community Action Council, to hear that a member of the community actually calling out for a functional Community Action Council, for me, it is touching, but it's an indictment against the officers at the Gasparillo police station. Because it's one of the things that we have mandated, that we have Community Action Councils active in police districts. And to hear that there was one in Gasparillo, and to hear that there is a PRO and other members still available, wanting the Action Council to be functional, and it's not happening because the police are really the ones keeping it back. It's really an indictment. It's a sad thing. One of the things I can give you assurance, Mr. Harry, is that it will happen, because I'll ensure that Mr. Santana follow through on that matter and give me a feedback on having the Gasparillo Community Action Council going, because it allows the police to have a consistent engagement with key persons in our community so that we can solve problems within our community. It is a unique way of so doing within the broad community policing model. And it's kind of painful to sit down here and hear that you are actually begging for a Community Action Council to be functional. So it's something which Mr. Santana will, I am sure, cause to be fully activated in Gasparillo. But I'll follow up and find out about it. But I'll give you the assurance it will happen. Okay, sir?
Mr. Harry, you would have heard our commissioner. I want to assure you that, as you would have said, I would have mandated in a meeting right here the then inspector in Gasparillo to ensure that that group was functional. And I am disappointed to hear no. It's a pity that I wasn't told that before. And I'm disappointed to hear no, that, you know, we have been having problems. But in future, Mr. Harry, please keep me informed whenever there is no action forthcoming from the inspector or the sergeant at the Gasparillo police station. Please, you all have my number. I've given it to you all. Call me, let me know, so I will ensure that you have police attendance at your meetings. Okay, sir? Thank you very much. And I am mandating the inspector now, Mr. Bagwandin. This is the inspector in Gasparillo, and the SDO in charge, Mr. McIntosh. I'm mandating you all to liaise with Mr. Harry and to attend their meetings and to submit a report to me after each meeting. Okay? Thank you very much.
The floor is still open.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Anil Najir. I am the owner of Aidan's Gold Design in Gasparillo, opposite Dollar Value. Right? All I am asking is, Anil Najir, manager of Aidan's Gold Design in Gasparillo. Right? All I am asking is the Gasparillo police to pass and check us off and on. Not when they're in the vehicle, stop, how are you going? All right, everything all right? Yes, we'll appreciate it. You understand? Because I was in robbery at the said store, right? And the guy who robbed the store, he's outside today. Passing in the road, outside. Nothing we can do, we just stand up and watch him. You understand? So if a vehicle is in front of my store, it is a deterrent, right? When the traffic wardens are outside, my wife just feel a little more confident. I just tell she, I say, look, the people them outside, they don't get on us. We are close up. People come in the store. You understand? When we close up, we get in phone calls about Mole opening so early, all they closing. You understand? So it's all I ask is that the Gasparillo police come and check us, even on foot patrol. Pop in the store, how you going, Anil, everything all right, ting, and that is it. Right?
Thank you, Mr. Najir. Any more contributions from the floor? I know that you have concerns. I know there are some of you, I'm seeing it in your faces. You can come to the mic and address the commissioner. I will now probably ask the ACP, Assistant Commissioner of Police for the Southern Division, to probably address yours briefly.
Mr. Najir, I hear you, sir. I heard you with respect to your plea for patrols. I want to assure you, sir, that I will mandate the Gasparillo police to pay particular attention to your area of business and to ensure that there's a presence there to make you and your workers feel safe. And again, I'm saying to all of you, if you have any problem, feel free to see me or to call me, and I will try to address your problems. Okay, Mr. Najib? Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would now like to call on Superintendent James, who will bring the vote of thanks. Could you welcome him to the podium, please?
Good evening to each and everyone gathered here. Dr. Suruj Ratan Rambachan, Member of Parliament for Gasparillo Tabakit constituency. Mr. Stephen Williams, Commissioner of Police, acting. Mr. Harold Phillip, Deputy Commissioner of Operations, acting. Mr. Glenn Hackett, Deputy Commissioner of Police, acting. Senior Superintendent, Mr. Carly Huggins, charge of GAB. Assistant Commissioner South, in charge of the Central, Southern, and Southwestern Division, Mr. Donald Dinoon. Senior Superintendent Cecil Santana. Other members of the Police Service First and Second Division officers, members of the Gasparillo community, Councillor for the Gasparillo area, Mr. Safraz Ali, Principal of the Gasparillo Composite School, Mr. Maraj, friends, well-wishers. We have sat here today as members of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service to be the beneficiaries of your concerns and the plights that you have highlighted. Our task as vanguards of the public peace and tranquility is indeed a very onerous one. We have listened and we have heard intently to your concerns, recognizing that we, the police service, and in particular, the Gasparillo Police Station, wherein lies the mandate to effectively and efficiently police your community, may have suffered some failings. On one entering the Gasparillo community of the Solomon Ochai Highway, clearly it is visible that this once very small and rural community has grown and continues to grow with respect to its commercial well-beings, its residential status, schools, and other notable enterprises. This, rest assured, has placed a heavy mandate on the Gasparillo Police, in particular, knowing the well-known fact that a growth in commercial activity attracts the criminal elements. I want to assure the community, on behalf of the members and staff of the Southern Division, headed by Senior Superintendent Santana, that we work assiduously to ensure that your needs are met. Yes, as I said, it's a very onerous task, but I believe firmly that we are well equipped, both mentally, physically, and possessed of the necessary resources to carry out that task. Clearly, there are several issues that needs to be addressed. My concern, basically, and it seems to be a disconnect, in particular when Mr. Harris spoke of the lack of participation by the Gasparillo Police to engage in the meetings of the Gasparillo Community Council. As stated by the Senior Superintendent, this particular situation will be addressed. The forum has been open for the members of the community to communicate and interact with the head of the division and other members of the staff to ensure that the services that you deserve is truly delivered. At this juncture, I want to especially thank our Commissioner of Police, Mr. Stephen Williams, and his executive for engaging us in this particular initiative of the town meetings. As he mentioned, the process continues. This process is expected to engage members of the public through the length and breadth of Trinidad and Tobago. And it's a measure and a means where we, members of the organization, can hear your concerns and put the necessary measures in place to have your needs addressed. There are several and many, and we will, with all our resources available, make every effort to address your concerns. I want to say a special thanks also to the MP of the district, Dr. Rambachan, for the passion in which he delivered his concerns. Rest assured, sir, we have heard, we have recorded, and definitely we will take the necessary action. To the councillor, we are asking that you continue to interact with us through the Gasparillo Police and seek the feedback that is necessary. I want to also especially thank the principal of the school for allowing us the use of this venue to host this function. Clearly, there would have been some level of disappointment mentioned by Mr. Harry as regards the attendance. We are well aware that there are several other persons absent here who for some means or the other would have wished to be here to also express their concerns. But we believe that some of the concerns expressed would have been shared even by those absent. I want to thank the community police officers and the members and staff of the Gasparillo Police for preparing this venue to host this particular event. I also want to thank you in particular, the members of the Gasparillo community, for the patience, your honesty, your forthrightness, and the clarity in which you delivered your concerns. Yes, there will be issues that may take time to be addressed, and we're kindly asking your patience. But feel free to challenge us and to ensure that we deliver as promised. So again, I want to say special thanks to each and everyone present here for attending and giving of your time and allowing us to be the beneficiaries of your concerns. Have a pleasant evening and get home to your places of abode safely. Thanks again. Have a pleasant night.
I thank you and get home to your residence safely. Thank you.